Here's the truth. Any short filmmaker can probably agree that you're doing these films to launch your career. So what do you have to lose if you don't go for it? The universe set its time and we had 6 weeks to come up with an idea, for the writers to write the screenplay, for the 2 actors to become available, and for us to crew up. I'd never shot a film in America before, I'm from London. And we had no time for prep. There was no time for me to storyboard or to shot list, so I just went on my instincts, and it was an incredibly freeing experience because I suddenly just felt it. And I didn't have any pressures. There was no kind of producers behind you going, well, you know. And so I would just put the camera back and let the scene play out. And when you've got a pair of actors like Tatiana Maslany and Tom Cullen who are very used to performing together, for me it was like just a gift because they knew their lines, they got their characters, and they just played. And I think they're both so focused on just making it truthful. It's all coming from a real authentic place. And I think part of the journey that we all go on as artists is kind of realizing that you have to reach into a real place and pull it out to affect anybody. And that's what they do time and time again.
Look, I know it's scary.
You have no idea. You have no idea what the world is like. You've lived here your whole life.
I know, you're right. You were chosen because you're a survivor, you're braver, and you're stronger.
What if I'm not?
You are.
What if I'm not?
Tell me what I can do. What can I do? Tell me.
I just...
What?
You're late.
It's crazy out there. What were you gonna say?
Come on.
I think the making of the film is probably one of the most incredible aspects because we were camping in a field for 5 days. We were staying on a farmer's land. In fact, my wife and I had just had a baby. We had a nanny, and our nanny was from Oregon, and it was her father that had the farm. So it was this incredible experience that was basically a collaboration of families. Myself, my wife, our kids, the nanny, her father, who ended up being the cult leader in the film, his family, John Treefry, the producing partner with me, his sister, Kate Treefry, who was the writer, her husband, Ben Boley, who was the other writer. So we had all these families. I think it was like 4 whole family units, 6 or 7 sets of siblings. It was our incredible cult of our own. And we all just set out to make the film. One of the most memorable moments was shooting this eclipse sequence. We had the exact times. At this moment, in this second, this would happen. At this moment, in this second, this would happen. So we rehearsed it for 4 days like a dance, like a piece of choreography. And Tatiana was a dancer when she was younger, so she brought that experience with her, which was just so important. And when it was over, this pressure that we had all felt kind of synthesized with this insanely emotional experience that we had all just gone through, and every single person burst out into tears. And it was incredible. And the most beautiful thing has been sharing that with audiences, and they have the same experience en masse. And because it's this uncut sequence where you literally see 360, but you're in the drama, you're experiencing what we experience, like VR. And it can never be repeated. It was this one-off moment that we'll all remember for the rest of our lives, and that is the reward. When it came time to shoot the eclipse, it was nuts. It was just this incredibly tense moment. I think people's first instincts are, that's a visual effect. But it's not. It's all real. Didn't touch it. A lot of people said to me, you need to put a sign at the front of the film that says what you're about to watch is real. But you can't do that because then you're basically asking people to dispel certain beliefs that they would have going into it. So I was just so pleased with the film. Souls of Totality is one of those films where the universe came together to make it happen, and we were just along for the ride. But every single person on the crew was absolutely in their game mode. It was focused and in the zone. And one of the most amazing things about that was I had promised, with only a couple of weeks to go, all these crew members that they would come be part of a film, but you would get to see the solar eclipse. The problem is that we needed 30 bodies lying under blankets for the shot to work. So all the crew had to go under the blankets. They were poking holes in their blankets so they could pretend to be dead but stare up at the eclipse at the same time. One of the things is the camera goes down with Tatiana's character, and Tom Cullen grabs her hand. And then when the camera goes up and is pointing up at the sky, that's when all the crew members got out from their blankets, ran behind camera, and while this incredible performance was going on, none of them were watching it. They were just all looking up at the eclipse. I was the only person watching them.
What were you gonna say?
Stay.
So over the last year and a half, Souls of Totality played at, I think, around 35 festivals, including Tribeca, Palm Springs, Edinburgh, and we won 12 film festivals. And that was an amazing thing to be granted. It's been watched by 1 million people online. To have an audience of 1 million people for your short film is more than most independent features. To have 75 packed screens, to travel the world, and then to go online and have 1 million people watch the film, that's every filmmaker's dream.